Ciao ragazzi, hey guys. So it's been a while since we talked here on YouTube, and things have been pretty rough, and I hope you guys are doing well. Honestly, I've been doing okay because I tend to lock myself down a lot due to my job. So I've been doing fine, but I hope you guys are doing well. So I want to talk about this little friend here, specifically the original, because I played FF7 back in the day, but I was a little bit of a snob about it because Final Fantasy VIII came out right after, and I was more interested in that game. So I kind of snobbed FF7 for a long time until 6 years ago that I finally played it, and I obviously loved it because it's a classic. But I remember that I thought that the Midgar part, which I think was the first disc, I thought it was like the weakest part to me. I didn't really like it too much. So when the remake was announced, I was really skeptical about it. I thought it was like a cash grab. I wasn't convinced at all. Then I saw the reviews and they were pretty positive. So I bought the game and I fucking loved it. Like, it was such a fantastic experience, and one of the best things that I liked about this remake is that it feels like a complete game. It doesn't feel like it's it makes you wonder what's gonna happen after, but it still feels like a satisfying experience, So I would compare it to, for example, Lord of the Rings. You see that movie and it feels like a complete movie, but then you wonder what's gonna happen after. So overall, it just feels unreal that this game is even here. So I'm really grateful for it. And another thing that I really like was the challenge about it, because especially hard mode that I'm playing right now to take some screenshots for the parody, it's fucking hard as shit. So it's been a very pleasant surprise. And one last thing I wanted to say is that the characters in this and the world, it feels really real and not just like a dressing. It feels really like you can live inside of it. And the characters, they made basically anime characters look and feel real. Whether it's the good writing on the characters or the graphics, they just feel like real people, and that's kind of weird, but it's also why it has such an impact on me. So let's talk about this parody. This is a great diversion from my usual stuff that I do. Also because it's a shorter parody. This is the first time that I actually do a short parody. I would say that it's gonna be between 12 to 15 minutes, and this time it's accurate because I actually finished the whole parody as a sketch. So the whole parody is done, but it's I have to outline it and I have to color it. So this is the first time that I do an announcement and the animation is virtually complete. So yeah, I started this parody about almost 3 months ago. I'm in pretty good shape, with it. And I would say, if I had to give an idea of the style, that is similar to my Witcher 3 animation, maybe my Metal Gear 5 cartoon, and has a very fast pace. In fact, at first I wanted to do a boss rush, like from bosses to bosses, without stopping, but then I decided to put some funny stuff in between, so it ended up being more of a traditional parody, that I usually do. But the cool thing about this cartoon is that remember, like in my in Seasoning Ash, you saw Sister Frida, the boss fight. In that parody, I was able to do some pretty cool, animations, and I was really happy about that. But I was still learning, how to do cool stuff like that, But in this one, due to the fact that it's a shorter animation, I was able to experiment more, So throughout the whole parody, there's always moments of these flashy, well-animated parts. And I'm really happy with them. Like, I feel like I did a pretty good job, and I hope you guys will enjoy them. When I had to design the characters for this parody, I want them to look very close to the original artworks for this game. But then I slowly realized that the original artworks, they were made to be translated into polygonal characters that are very spiky, and low polygons. And so, trying to make these original artworks into an animation, it really didn't work. And so basically I took a page from the actual redesigner for Remake, who is a dude called Roberto Ferrari. He lives in Japan, but he's Italian. And he, by the way, he modeled Jessie in the game after his wife, who's also Italian, by the way. I think that's why she loves pizza in the game, probably because she's Italian. So what he did, basically, he took all the good stuff about the original artworks and he modernized those artworks. So for example, let me give an example. Like Aerith has these weird kind of like a shoulder pads, and those were basically like a fashionable thing from the 90s, and he took that away. And it's a good idea, honestly, because they look kind of weird. So he kept only the good things about the designs, you know. And so I did the same, honestly, but I kept just some hints of the original artworks, you know. Like, for example, Tifa has like a wavy side of the hair on this part, you know, that goes behind the ear. And also Aerith, I give her like a zigzagging kind of strand of hair on the side. So I just wanted to just leave a little bit of that nostalgia, you know, old school style. So overall, you know, the dynamic between characters, it's already super funny in the game itself, but in a parody, I just have this liberty, this freedom of just making the most ridiculous fucking scenes ever, you know. Even, you know, I like to do those awkward moments, you know. And also, this parody overall is a little bit more risque, you know, it's a little bit more adult, I would say. And also there's a scene that has a little bit of like, you know, quote unquote nudity, but it's not really nudity. It's like kind of like, it's not what you think. Why the fuck am I? For the voice acting of this animation, I do have some voice actors that I think will be perfect for some of the roles. Specifically, President Shinra and Aerith. I should be okay with those. But you know me, you know, I like to have very accurate voice acting, you know, so that it feels as authentic as possible, you know. So in Sekirot, I would say, you know, I was really pleased by the results. And many people, you know, appreciated the fact that I casted, you know, the right people, that it was so similar to the original. And I think it added a lot of credibility to the animation, even though it was like a ridiculous plot that didn't make any sense. But it's important to me to have the right voice actors. So, you know, I'm just a little bit conflicted because I'm looking for voice actors, honestly. I want to have voice actors that are good. For, you know, they are as similar as possible. So I'm looking for, you know, someone that can do Biggs or Tifa or, you know, many other characters in this parody. So if you know somebody that has a good, you know, can do a good impression, even Barrett, for example, you know, if you know somebody that can do a good impression, just let me know, you know, give me his contact. Or if you think you can do a good job, just send me a demo to my email address. And of course, you need to know that this is a paid job, and also please be aware that I need a professional audio for these recordings. So, you know, make sure that you have what it takes, you know, that you have the tools to record this in a professional way. And as I said, you know, you will be paid for this work, of course. So for this animation, I finally have a collaborator, an assistant, and he's basically going to help me out doing some of the more tedious work, you know, like for example, the whole animation is animated by me, of course, but when it comes to outlining, you know, cleaning up and do the coloring, this assistant is a huge help because he's going to basically lift a little bit of the heavy work from me so that I can focus on other scenes in the meantime. So this was a huge step forward for me, you know, so I'm excited about this, but it's also a scary, you know, thing when you have to pay people for doing this kind of job. So I'm very satisfied about this decision, but I wanted to stress, you know, how important Patreon was, because, you know, you guys know that I don't have any sponsors on this channel. I don't upload all the time, so Patreon is really important. So I wanted to say that for those that can be so kind. To, you know, even if you have like $1 per month that you want to use to support me, you know, if you value what I do, it will be super appreciated. And honestly, you know, it's not really important how much. I don't really care. What's important to me is that knowing that there's another person that wants to take care of me, of supporting me, you know, even if it's like a 1 cent, I don't care. As long as there's people that believe in me, that's a huge boost in motivation for me. But overall, you know, I do want to, especially after this step forward, I do want to evolve, you know, to finally have a proper studio and to see what the future brings. And of course, I have to explain what are the perks for becoming a Patreon. You can have your name in this animation and inside the cartoon and in the credits. You can access, high quality wallpapers, scripts, and storyboards, and even art books. And for future projects, I'm not sure, this is a nice short diversion, this FF7 Remake parody. And by the way, I didn't say that eventually, if they do more games, in this series, I'm going to tackle those as well. But for future projects, I don't know, like maybe Demon Souls seems like an enticing, the remake or remaster, I don't even know anymore. But yeah, Demon Souls seems like a cool one. And Elden Ring will be amazing, but we don't know still much about it, so who knows, but it's certainly on my list, So yeah, I think this is almost everything. One last thing about Twitch, I left some scenes outside of the working pipeline just for Twitch. Okay, so I'm going to start the animation streams pretty soon, and on those streams I'm going to feature some stuff that I haven't animated yet, and I'm looking forward to it. There are really cool people on my Twitch streams, and I love them, and I like to hang out with them. So if you want to join us, I'll leave the link to my Twitch page in the comments, and come join us and let's have a good time together and talk and have a good time. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say. I hope you guys, I hope to see you soon around, and I hope you guys stay safe and have a good one. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.